Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at the WUBEN Gecko E61. This is a multifunctional pen that also dubs as a light that you can use to recharge and illuminate different objects. In addition, can be transformed into a stylus to interact with touchscreen displays, as well as even having a ballistic tip that you can use in emergencies to smash through glass. So it's not necessarily super smart in the sense that it doesn't have any fancy features like recording your voice or recording what you write, but it combines practical features into just a standard size of a pen, which I think is still kind of interesting. So it comes in a few different colors, including black and blue. The entire body is constructed out of aluminum and alloy, and it is claiming to be waterproof. The lighting, as you can see here, has multiple colors, as well as breathing modes and brightness levels, recharged using this battery inside, and again, different pen tips, which are able to swap and twist to be changed. The angle can also be adjusted for the light, and it's even magnetic, allowing you to mount it onto different surfaces. Gets up to 130 lumens at maximum brightness and can last upwards of running for around 2.5 hours if you're using in the medium brightness mode, and 15 hours of the light if you're in the lowest 3 lumen output mode. The distance of the light can travel up to 8 meters, which is pretty powerful for something so small, and it is again IP66 rated. At 54 grams though, this is definitely not a light pen since the entire thing is constructed out of metal. Packaging is done very well. There's actually an internal box which slides out and it actually opens up the doors like this, folds outwards, and presents you with the pen on top. Now in terms of the contents here, we do have a quick user guide in terms of how to set it up. Charging cable, which is using micro USB on this particular device, so I do wish that maybe they can switch to USB Type-C in the future, but it is what it is. We also have a few replacements in terms of the different pen tips, so that includes the nibs for the actual gel writing pen that you can use to scribble down writing. This is the tip here, of course, for the stylus, which is made out of rubber. You can see how small the pen barrel is for the actual ink of the gel pen, so it's probably going to run out very quickly, and you have to often replace it, which means this is not really a pen that is primarily aimed for everyday writing. It's just for emergency situations, or at least some of the other features like the built-in flashlight kind of takes priority in this case over the utensil part, but just something to keep in mind. One thing I will say though is the size of this kind of cartridge is very standard in terms of the circumference of the plastic. In fact, any of the kind of cheaper ballpoint pens you may already have can fit in if you just cut off the tip and make it to the similar length. Everything, including the clip and all the body parts, are made out of a single piece of metal, and there is just a single power key on the front here, as well as the kind of pen tips that you can rotate to access the different features. So there is a ballistic style tip here by default for self-defense, but when you want to kind of rotate it, how you do is actually exert a bit of force, and then it will unlock, and now you can kind of twist it to the other side, which is the writing tip, and then you can just pull downwards to kind of lock it back into place. The mechanism feels pretty sturdy and well constructed. And then on the other side here, we do have the magnetic accent. So if you have any metal surfaces, it will adhere onto it, as you can see there. It's a pretty strong magnet. So you can use that to set up the light in some other orientations if you don't want to be holding the pen at all times. The light can still pass through even if you're holding it like a wand due to this little cutout, but you can also pull on the latch here basically to extend the light out onto a arm style that will give you another position, even pointing down, which means as you are writing on something, you can illuminate the surface as you're writing in the dark, which is kind of neat if you don't want to disturb others around you. And then furthermore, this can also fold outwards like this, so you can also use it as an extended wand. It can even fold all the way back like this, 270 degrees, to put the pen down like this and illuminate a subject using itself as a stand, which is also kind of neat. So lots of different orientations that you can play around with as far as using it as a light. And finally, on the inside here, we can see the charging port, again, micro USB. Everything snaps into place with a satisfying click, very well constructed, again, feeling quite premium here from a material perspective. Now, if we do a quick size comparison with a regular pen here, you can see the size is not too far off in terms of the length as well as the overall dimensions. Starting with the demo of the lighting functions, how you turn it on is actually tapping 4 times. and it will kind of wake itself up and start off in the white light mode. From here, you can also tap once to turn the light off, but it's still in this hibernating mode where you can tap on it again to very quickly wake it up, or you can also long hold for a few seconds to turn it onto a higher brightness level. As you can see there, you really won't have any issues in terms of using it to illuminate things in the dark, anything like that. And another neat little touch here is actually the power key here is also backlit. It's a blue color, so when it is first turning on, you can see it also glow there. The other modes, like the SOS blue and red lights, all you have to do is kind of double tap on it, and you can see now it will go into this flashing and strobing mode between red and blue to try and get people's attention. And that help is needed. It's very bright. It's basically the lights in between the 3 white LEDs acting as this emergency mode. And then of course we can just kind of go back into the regular mode just by long holding. And again, everything is still quite comfortable. Now, in terms of actually fully shutting it down, since right now if you tap once it will turn off, but the light itself is still easy to turn back on. If you want to completely turn it off to save on power, you don't plan on using the light for a long time, you can tap on the power key 4 times again to turn it off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll see it blink a few times, and now it will be off. If I tap on it once, accidentally the pen won't turn on. In terms of writing is concerned, the irony here is even though the ink cartridge is tiny, the quality that they've provided here is actually quite good in terms of the fact that it is a real gel pen. So that means it really glides along, the ink flows easily without exerting too much pressure or force. And then when it comes to using it as some of the other tips, like the stylus, for example, we can do a quick demo of that just by untwisting the top. And you can see this is what it looks like, also made out of metal. And we can attach here the rubber stylus tip, which is conductive. The sensitivity of the stylus is also really good. Actually, since the entire pen is made out of metal, it's conductive, so no matter where you're holding it, it's kind of recognized, as you can see there, very gently. You kind of scribble with as you are drawing some quick doodles on any smartphone or tablet. As you can see here, working very well, very sensitive. Although maybe the precision isn't going to be as high as an active stylus, but for a passive one, working surprisingly well. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the WUBEN Gecko E61. They call this a tactical multifunction pen just because it combines all of these features like a light, SOS, stylus, regular pen, magnetic into one, and it is pretty handy as long as you're using it primarily for emergency cases. You can check out more details if you're interested. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.